In this video series, we go through a set of job descriptions and look at some of the key terms that you guys as recruiters may still not understand fully. You may not know what do they mean. And today, the term is tech stack. So what is a tech stack? So I will explain the term tech stack as a pyramid, okay? So you guys know that to build a system, multiple components need to be involved, right? Starting with an operating system on the bottom. To build something, the application needs to run on some operating system, right? If you have a phone like this, you have an application, the phone has some operating system, otherwise you couldn't even turn it on. We talk about operating systems in another video, so I'll just cover it briefly. And then, there could be some web server involved. If you have a web application, the web server processes the requests from clients, from users trying to access a website. So web server is another component. And then we have a database server. So a database server takes care of the storage of the data that are stored inside the database. So a database server is also involved. And then, programming language is used to give instructions to these tools. So programming language is something the developer uses to write code, to write these instructions. And we also have some framework to make it easier for the developer not to write again what someone else has already written. So we talk about frameworks in another video. We talk about programming languages in another video. We talk about web servers, database servers, operating systems in another videos in depth. But for now, I want to combine this all together so you guys see this as an ecosystem. A developer needs to know what kind of programming language and framework he uses, what kind of web server the company uses, or the client if it's in an agency, what kind of database will the system use, and what kind of operating system is involved in creation of the software product. So as we have lots of operating systems, for example, we have Apple-based operating system like macOS or Mac server. We have web servers such as Apache, for example, or different vendors have different operating systems, like Microsoft obviously has their web server. We have lots of database servers, like some of them are relational, some of them are non-relational, some of them are great for transactions, some of them are great for analytical processing, like data warehousing. We have lots of programming languages, right? Starting with languages such as Java, JavaScript, PHP. Some of them are more known. Some of them are less widespread, such as Golang, probably. And each programming language has some framework. Just in PHP, there are like dozens of frameworks. Same with other languages. So this is also what we have at Geekculture. We have this technology map where we look at all the programming languages and the most frequently used frameworks, and we compare which one is obsolete, which one is trending, so you guys as recruiters know as soon as you meet a developer. And then what you need to be aware of, that since there are just so many combinations, an operating system, web server, database, and it all can be interchanged into some extent. Some patterns, some favorite combinations started to emerge at some point. And one of the most favorite combination is LAMP. Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, LAMP. This is an acronym of 4 letters, and it is one of the most popular tech stacks. So a tech stack, technical stack, is a combination of the most popular modules. For example, LAMP. LAMP stands for Linux as an operating system, Apache as a web server, MySQL as a database server, and PHP as a programming language. Okay, so that's why LAMP, LAMP. So suddenly you have a tech stack, which is one of the most popular ones. It doesn't define which framework to use. So you could, for example, have LAMPL, like Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, Laravel. Laravel is these days one of the most hyped frameworks on PHP. It could also be Symfony. So you could have lamps, okay? So Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, Symfony framework. So that would be one of the most popular technical stacks. And pretty much you can see here how it is all linked together. So as soon as a developer knows, hey, we are building an app on LAMP, then he knows he's using the web server he already knows, he's using MySQL database he is already familiar with, he's using an operating system which he knows what to expect from, okay? So the advantage of using a stack that is already well defined is that they know what to expect from this stack. It's already well configured, it's already working well together. These components work very well together. And the second popular stack is mean. Mean. It stands for MongoDB, Express, Angular, and Node.js. Okay, so LAMP and mean. So now let's look again. We have mean, like database is MongoDB. Database, MongoDB. Web server, Express. Express the web server. Angular is the framework, mean, and Node is the Node.js. Node.js is actually not a language, it's a JavaScript runtime environment, but it's as close to programming language as we can get for the purpose of this tech stack. Okay, so now you see what a tech stack is. Don't forget operating system, web server, database, programming language, and framework. Okay, with LAMP, you can see there is no framework defined as a part of LAMP. There is just operating system, web database server, and programming language. We could write LAMPs, which would be, for example, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, Symfony. And I'm repeating it so many times so you guys start remembering it, okay? Because I believe it's not enough just to say it once, because this is very complex eventually. There are just so many combinations. So I encourage you to write it down, take notes. And mean, Mongo, Express, Angular, Node.js. Okay, so here, Node.js, you guys know JavaScript is used to write in Node.js environment. Angular, one of the most popular JavaScript frameworks. Express as a web server, and MongoDB as a non-relational database. And now this is important because MongoDB is non-relational database and MySQL is relational database. So we talk about databases in another video where we go deeper. What are the differences between a relational and a non-relational database? This is what you as a recruiter need to know, because as soon as someone says, hey, we are going to build an application that requires transactions, and we need to build like relations between, we need to do it in a relational environment, then you can say, hey, we have some LAMP developers, you know that M stands for MySQL, MySQL is relational, unlike Mongo, which is non-relational database. Okay, so I'm sharing some of these insights, but we will go much deeper inside the Geek Culture Academy, where we will practice all these little nuances so you can eventually hire developers with confidence. So now let me wrap it up here, and I encourage you guys to share it with your friends and colleagues so they also learn what are the differences between LAMP and mean. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe for this channel so you keep new videos which will help you to become a great technical recruiter.